Welcome to Unstoppable Mindset. Today I want to share something that has the power to transform not only your mornings, but the entire direction of your life. Most people wake up and immediately focus on their problems. They think about unpaid bills, unfinished tasks, disappointments, and fears about the future. They begin their day speaking defeat before they have even stepped out of bed. Then they wonder why they feel tired, discouraged, and stuck. What many people fail to understand is that words are not just sounds. Words are expressions of thought, and thoughts become actions. Actions become habits, and habits eventually become your destiny. Every day you are either building the future you desire or reinforcing the limitations you have accepted. Success does not begin when you receive a promotion. It does not begin when you start a business. It does not begin when money arrives in your bank account. Success begins in your mind. It begins with what you believe about yourself when nobody is watching. It begins with the conversation you have with yourself before the world speaks to you. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not against your competitors, your critics, or your circumstances. The greatest battle is against the doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs that try to convince you that you cannot become who you were created to be. Every morning you have an opportunity to win that battle before the day even starts. The most successful people in the world understand something that average people often overlook. They do not leave their mindset to chance. They intentionally program their minds with thoughts that produce confidence, purpose, discipline, and action. They understand that if you control your thinking, you can influence your future. Many people spend years waiting for motivation to appear. They are waiting to feel confident before they take action. They are waiting to feel ready before they pursue their dreams. But confidence does not come before action. Confidence grows because of action. And action is often triggered by the words you repeatedly speak to yourself. Your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you consistently plant in it will eventually grow. If you plant fear, fear will grow. If you plant doubt, doubt will grow. If you plant excuses, excuses will grow. But if you plant belief, purpose, discipline, and vision, those qualities will begin to shape your character and influence your decisions. That is why your morning matters so much. The first few moments after you wake up are powerful. They set the emotional and mental direction for the rest of the day. Before social media speaks to you, before the news speaks to you, before your circumstances speak to you, you must learn to speak to yourself. Today, I am going to share 5 powerful sentences that can help reshape your mindset when spoken consistently every morning. These are not magic words. They are not shortcuts to success. Success still requires hard work, discipline, patience, and commitment. However, these sentences can help align your thinking with the person you want to become. Remember, your future is not determined by your current situation. Your future is determined by the decisions you make every day and the beliefs that guide those decisions. When your words change, your thinking changes. When your thinking changes, your actions change. And when your actions change consistently, your life begins to change. So listen carefully, because one sentence repeated with conviction every morning can become the foundation of a completely different future. The question is not whether these words have power. The question is whether you will believe them enough to live them. Most people spend years waiting for their circumstances to change, never realizing that the greatest change must first happen within themselves. One of the most powerful sentences you can say every morning is, "I am responsible for creating the life I want." These words may seem simple, but they contain a truth that separates successful people from those who remain stuck in frustration and disappointment. The moment you accept responsibility for your life, you take back your power. As long as you believe that other people, the economy, your past, your family background, or your current circumstances are completely responsible for where you are, you will continue to wait for someone else to fix what only you can change. Responsibility is not about blaming yourself for everything that has happened. It is about recognizing that you have the ability to choose your response and determine your direction from this moment forward. Many people wake up every day thinking about what they do not have. They focus on the opportunities they missed, the mistakes they made, or the advantages someone else seems to possess. But successful people think differently. They understand that while they cannot change yesterday, they can influence today. They know that every decision, every habit, and every action is a brick being laid in the foundation of their future. When you say, "I am responsible for creating the life I want," you are declaring that your future will not be determined by excuses. Excuses may provide temporary comfort, but they never produce results. Excuses explain why something did not happen, but responsibility creates a path toward making it happen. The world rewards action, not excuses. It rewards persistence, not complaints. It rewards those who take ownership of their lives and move forward despite challenges. Think about the most successful people you admire. They all faced obstacles. They encountered rejection, setbacks, failures, and moments of uncertainty. Yet what distinguished them was their refusal to surrender responsibility for their future. They did not spend their lives waiting for perfect conditions. They worked with what they had. They learned what they needed to learn. They developed the discipline necessary to grow. They understood that success is built one decision at a time. Responsibility also means becoming intentional about your daily habits. The life you desire is not created by occasional effort. It is created by consistent action. Every day you are either moving closer to your goals or further away from them. The books you read, the people you listen to, the thoughts you entertain, and the actions you repeat are shaping the person you are becoming. If you want a different future, you must become intentional about the choices you make today. There will be moments when taking responsibility feels uncomfortable. It is easier to blame circumstances than to examine your own decisions. It is easier to point fingers than to look in the mirror. But growth begins where excuses end. The moment you become honest with yourself, you create the possibility for transformation. You stop seeing yourself as powerless and begin seeing yourself as capable of creating change. Every morning, before the demands of the day begin competing for your attention, remind yourself of this powerful truth. I am responsible for creating the life I want. Let those words shape your thinking. Let them guide your choices. Let them strengthen your commitment to your goals. You may not control everything that happens around you, but you always have the power to control your attitude, your effort, your decisions, and your response. And when you consistently take responsibility for your life, something remarkable happens. You stop waiting for success to find you, and you start becoming the kind of person who creates success wherever you go. That is the moment your future begins to change. One of the most powerful sentences you can say every morning is, "Today I will act on my purpose, not my feelings." This simple statement has the power to transform your productivity, strengthen your discipline, and move you closer to your goals. The reason is simple. Feelings are temporary, but purpose is permanent. Feelings change from moment to moment, but purpose remains steady even when motivation disappears. Many people spend their lives being controlled by how they feel. If they feel motivated, they work hard. If they feel tired, they delay. If they feel confident, they take action. If they feel uncertain, they stop moving forward. The problem with living this way is that feelings are unreliable. They rise and fall like waves in the ocean. If you allow your emotions to determine your actions, your progress will always be inconsistent. Successful people understand a different principle. They understand that achievement is not built on motivation alone. It is built on commitment. They do not wait until they feel like doing what is necessary. They make a decision to do it because it aligns with their purpose. They recognize that purpose must lead while feelings follow. Think about how many dreams have been abandoned because someone stopped feeling excited. The excitement of a new goal eventually fades. The enthusiasm of a fresh beginning eventually encounters obstacles. Every worthwhile pursuit will require effort, sacrifice, patience, and persistence. There will be days when you do not feel strong. There will be mornings when you would rather stay comfortable than challenge yourself. There will be moments when giving up seems easier than continuing. Those are the moments when purpose becomes your greatest source of strength. Purpose gives meaning to your actions. It reminds you why you started. It helps you see beyond temporary discomfort and focus on long-term results. When you know your purpose, you stop asking, "How do I feel today?" and start asking, "What must I do today to become who I am meant to be?" That shift in thinking changes everything. Discipline is born when purpose becomes more important than comfort. Most people choose what feels good in the moment. They choose convenience over growth. They choose entertainment over development. They choose comfort over responsibility. But every significant achievement requires the ability to delay immediate gratification in exchange for future rewards. The people who succeed are often the people who consistently do what is necessary, even when they do not feel like doing it. Every morning when you repeat the words, "Today I will act on my purpose, not my feelings," you are training your mind to become stronger than your emotions. You are reminding yourself that your future is too important to be controlled by temporary moods. You are making a commitment to take action regardless of whether the conditions are perfect. This does not mean ignoring your emotions completely. Feelings are valuable indicators, but they should not be your leaders. Your feelings can inform you, but your purpose should direct you. A leader does not abandon the journey because the road becomes difficult. A person driven by purpose continues moving forward because they understand that challenges are part of growth. The reality is that some of the most important actions you will ever take in life will happen on days when you do not feel motivated. The workout that strengthens your body, the study session that expands your knowledge, the difficult conversation that improves a relationship, the extra effort that advances your career. These things often happen when feelings are absent but purpose is present. So each morning, before the distractions of the world compete for your attention, declare this truth with conviction. Today I will act on my purpose, not my feelings. Let it become a personal standard. Let it remind you that success belongs to those who remain committed long after motivation fades. Because when purpose leads your actions, consistency becomes your habit, growth becomes your lifestyle, and success becomes the natural result of who you are becoming. One of the most important sentences you can say every morning is, I have the ability to learn, grow, and improve. These words may seem simple, but they can completely change the way you approach challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. The difference between people who achieve extraordinary things and those who remain trapped in the same place year after year is often not talent, resources, or luck. It is their willingness to keep learning and growing. Many people unknowingly place limits on themselves. They believe they have reached the edge of their abilities. They convince themselves that they are not smart enough, talented enough, experienced enough, or capable enough to achieve their goals. As a result, they stop trying. They stop growing because they have accepted a false belief about who they are. The greatest limitation in life is not a lack of opportunity. It is a lack of belief in your ability to develop. The truth is that growth is one of the most powerful gifts you possess. You are not required to know everything today. You are not expected to be perfect. You are not supposed to have all the answers. What matters is your willingness to learn. Every expert was once a beginner. Every successful person was once inexperienced. Every leader was once a student. The people you admire today did not start at the top. They grew into their success through learning, persistence, and continuous improvement. When you wake up each morning and say, I have the ability to learn, grow, and improve, you are reminding yourself that your current level is not your final level. Where you are today does not determine where you can be tomorrow. The skills you lack can be learned. The weaknesses you struggle with can be strengthened. The knowledge you need can be acquired. Growth becomes possible the moment you stop defining yourself by your current limitations. One of the reasons many people fear failure is because they see failure as proof that they are incapable. But successful people view failure differently. They see it as feedback. They understand that mistakes are part of the learning process. Every setback contains a lesson. Every challenge reveals an area that can be improved. Every obstacle provides an opportunity to become wiser, stronger, and more prepared for the future. Imagine if a child stopped trying to walk after falling down a few times. Imagine if a student stopped learning because the first lesson seemed difficult. Growth would never happen. Progress requires patience. It requires the willingness to be uncomfortable while developing new abilities. The path to mastery is not perfection. The path to mastery is consistent improvement over time. The most successful people in the world are often the most committed learners. They read books, seek wisdom, ask questions, listen to mentors, and remain teachable, regardless of how much they have already achieved. They understand that the moment a person believes they know everything is the moment their growth begins to stop. A teachable spirit keeps doors open that pride would close. Every day presents an opportunity to become a better version of yourself. You can improve your knowledge, strengthen your character, refine your habits, and expand your perspective. Small improvements may seem insignificant at first, but over time they create remarkable results. A little growth every day eventually becomes a completely transformed life. So every morning, declare with confidence, I have the ability to learn, grow, and improve. Let those words challenge every limiting belief that tries to hold you back. Let them remind you that your potential is greater than your present circumstances. Refuse to be defined by yesterday's mistakes or today's struggles. Instead, commit yourself to continuous growth, because the person you are becoming is always more important than the person you were yesterday. And when you embrace a mindset of learning and improvement, you position yourself to achieve things that once seemed impossible. One of the most powerful sentences you can say every morning is, I will focus on opportunities instead of obstacles. This statement has the ability to reshape your perspective and transform the way you approach life. The truth is that every person faces obstacles. Every successful individual has encountered difficulties, setbacks, disappointments, and unexpected challenges. The difference is not that successful people have fewer problems. The difference is that they refuse to let problems become the center of their attention. What you focus on grows in your mind. If you constantly focus on what is wrong, your problems will appear larger than they really are. If you focus only on limitations, you will begin to believe that progress is impossible. If you focus on fear, doubt, and uncertainty, those thoughts will influence your decisions and hold you back from taking action. Your focus determines your attitude, and your attitude influences your results. Many people wake up every morning already defeated because their minds are consumed by obstacles. They think about everything that could go wrong. They worry about challenges before they even face them. They spend so much energy analyzing problems that they never begin searching for solutions. As a result, opportunities pass them by because they are too focused on what is standing in their way. Successful people think differently. They acknowledge obstacles, but they do not become obsessed with them. They understand that every challenge contains a lesson, every setback contains an opportunity for growth, and every difficulty can develop qualities that success requires. They train their minds to look beyond the problem and search for the possibility hidden within it. History is filled with examples of people who achieved remarkable things because they focused on opportunities instead of obstacles. They faced rejection but saw an opportunity to improve. They experienced failure but saw an opportunity to learn. They encountered closed doors but searched for another entrance. While others were discouraged by difficulties, they remained committed to finding solutions. One of the greatest dangers in life is developing a problem-focused mindset. When your attention is fixed on obstacles, you begin to believe that your circumstances have more power than your choices. You start waiting for conditions to become perfect before taking action. But perfect conditions rarely exist. If you wait until every obstacle disappears, you may spend your entire life waiting. Opportunities are often disguised as challenges. The very obstacle you are facing today may be preparing you for the success you desire tomorrow. Difficult situations can strengthen your character. Delays can teach patience. Failures can provide wisdom. Criticism can reveal areas for growth. Challenges often contain benefits that are only visible to those who are willing to look beyond the immediate difficulty. This does not mean pretending that problems do not exist. It means refusing to allow them to control your thinking. There is a difference between recognizing a problem and surrendering to it. Wise people identify obstacles, but they devote most of their energy to finding solutions. They understand that energy invested in solutions produces progress, while energy invested in endless complaints produces frustration. Every morning when you say, "I will focus on opportunities instead of obstacles," you are training your mind to become solution-oriented. You are reminding yourself that there is always something you can do, something you can learn, and some way to move forward. You are choosing to direct your attention toward possibilities rather than limitations. Life will always present challenges. There will always be reasons to quit, reasons to complain, and reasons to believe that success is out of reach. But there will also always be opportunities to grow, opportunities to improve, and opportunities to take another step toward your goals. The choice of where you place your focus belongs to you. So begin each day with this powerful declaration. Refuse to allow obstacles to dominate your thoughts. Refuse to let difficulties define your future. Instead, train yourself to search for possibilities in every situation. Because the people who change their lives are often not the ones with the fewest obstacles. They are the ones who consistently choose to see opportunities where others see only barriers. And that perspective can make all the difference in your journey toward success. One of the most powerful sentences you can say every morning is, "I am becoming the person my dreams require." This statement is more than a positive affirmation. It is a reminder that success is not simply about achieving goals. Success is about becoming the kind of person who is capable of reaching those goals and sustaining them. Many people are focused on what they want, but very few are focused on who they need to become in order to receive it. Every dream places a demand on your character. Every vision requires a certain level of discipline, responsibility, wisdom, and maturity. The life you desire cannot be separated from the person you are becoming. If your dream is large, then your growth must be equally large. You cannot expect extraordinary results while maintaining ordinary habits. You cannot expect a different future while remaining the same person. Many people spend years chasing success without realizing that success is often waiting for them to grow into it. They want greater opportunities, but they are unwilling to develop greater discipline. They want more influence, but they resist personal growth. They want bigger rewards, but they avoid bigger responsibilities. The truth is that your dream and your development are connected. As you grow, your capacity grows. As your capacity grows, new opportunities begin to appear. Think about a tree. Before it can produce fruit, it must first develop strong roots. The roots grow where nobody can see them. They develop quietly beneath the surface. Yet those hidden roots determine how much fruit the tree can eventually produce. In the same way, the success people see in your life will always be connected to the growth that takes place behind the scenes. Long before achievement becomes visible, character must be developed. When you say, "I am becoming the person my dreams require," you are choosing to focus on growth rather than instant results. You are reminding yourself that every challenge, every lesson, every setback, and every victory is shaping you into a stronger person. Growth is often uncomfortable because it requires change. It requires letting go of habits that no longer serve you and developing habits that move you toward your purpose. The person you want to become will need qualities that perhaps you are still developing today. Greater patience, greater discipline, greater confidence, greater consistency, greater wisdom. These qualities do not appear overnight. They are developed through daily decisions. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are becoming that person. Every time you choose learning over excuses, you are becoming that person. Every time you choose persistence over quitting, you are becoming that person. One of the greatest mistakes people make is comparing their current position to someone else's success. They see the results another person has achieved and become discouraged because they do not see the years of growth, sacrifice, and preparation that happened before those results appeared. Success is usually the visible reward for invisible development. What people celebrate publicly is often built through years of private commitment. Your journey is not just about reaching a destination. It is about transformation. The process is designed to develop qualities within you that will serve you long after the goal has been achieved. The challenges you face today are not only testing you, they are preparing you. They are strengthening your character and expanding your capacity for the opportunities ahead. Every morning, before the world tells you who you are, remind yourself of this truth. I am becoming the person my dreams require. Let those words fill you with confidence and determination. Do not become discouraged by how far you still have to go. Instead, celebrate the fact that you are growing every day. Trust the process. Embrace the lessons. Stay committed to your development. Because success is not merely about arriving at a goal. Success is about becoming the person capable of living that dream with wisdom, character, and purpose. And when you commit yourself to that journey of growth, you will discover that the person you are becoming is far more powerful than the obstacles standing in your way. Your future is not only waiting for your arrival, it is waiting for your transformation.